Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall and found a way to reconcile. 'Cause in my heart.
Alright, folks, so today we're going to return to doing the Orog dungeon, the Orog blacksmith dungeon. But in the meantime, getting started. Hey, look, here's a piece of art that I did. Practicing painting. So, yeah, that's a thing. But where we want to be is right over here. Bring it on this one. I feel like that music's still a little loud. Turn it down just a hair. How's that? I think that's better. Yeah, okay. And then, one last thing to get started. Alright, here we go. Alright, so we have a Orog there that we're working on, and this is a Orog blacksmith who works alongside a bunch of goblins who are very happy to give him protection and help and all of that stuff, maybe even labor, because they get cool weapons out of it. So, yeah, we've got the basic layout down. Got a number of ideas down. Today we're going to be working on details. So, here we go. This is You know, it also occurs to me that I feel like this canvas is smaller than it should be, but no, that's right. Okay. Can I turn off some of these layers? What can I turn off? Keep that one. Turn this down. Okay, so we need some kind of trap down here in this area. We have barricades for bows up here. We have a monster down here. The goblins blocked this off because they didn't want the monster that's in the water to come up and get them, because that's the way goblins work. If it was going to get them, then they'd blow it up, because that's also how goblins work. Oops, I forgot the thing. I will be right back. This is my AFK screen. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I need to update that a minute. Anyway, yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Clearly, I need to get a AFK, better AFK screen and stuff. Anyway, goblins. Yeah. Goblin, you know, like a thing that goes down there. Alright. So I also want, actually do want a cliff right here. Another little cliff. Where things got broken and then they opened it up. It's actually where Goblin's got all of these rocks for, you know, defenses and whatever else. Or at least more rocks. More rocks. Okay. So goblins also like to be secretive. Which means that this also needs to be another concealed door. But it's also a stairway. Oof, that's not great. Okay. There's that. There's this. Okay, so this is let's see. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 2. This goes into 3. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, everything's on the same level. Sure. We'll go with that. So I really like the idea, I was thinking about it over here, I really like the idea of columns in this room. So let's put a few columns. Sure. Before we do that, we need to color it in. Okay. So there's 4 lovely columns in there. And a few rocks. It'd help if I combine the layers. Layers. Dear Aleric, please draw on the same layer. Actually, put a little puddle here. Just a little dungeon dressing. Happy little dungeon dressing. Goblins also like explosions, right? So, and fire. So let's do some fire damage. Every rockfall needs skeletons. Alright, so Goblin Lair needs a few things. Goblin Lair needs guards. It has an upper layer. The upper layer is going to be where they store their valuable supplies, protect their women and children, that kind of thing. So this floor is actually mainly for the garrison. And I just was realizing if the goblins are working with the blacksmith, then they need to be able to get to each other and talk easily without having to go through terrible monsters here and dangerous water here and everything else that's going on. So there should actually be. So this is 1. This is 0. This goes down. 0 to 1. 1 to 2. 2 to 3. This is 1. This actually goes up. That is actually a 2-level jump. So that space. This is 3. Goes from 1 to 3. So this is actually a 20-foot cliff. We should make it a little longer. Anyway, so this is 0. This goes down basically to -1. This goes out to 0. This is 0. Which makes this 1. And since this is 3, it needs to go down 2 levels. So we will do this. First thing we'll do is we'll erase the wall. And erase this wall. And erase this wall. Turn that into interior walls. Right there. And then we have these 2 here. I like this. All right. Do, 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 do. This needs to go down 2 levels. What if? Hello, hello. Yeah, it's been a while. Silver, been trying to figure out what I'm doing with my life. But thanks for both of you dropping in. Right now I'm currently thinking about this area right here. Trying to figure out what I want to do to connect these 2 areas. There. I think we're just going to fudge it a bit. And we're just going to make it a very long stairs. Do, 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 do. I want to do it that way? I'm going to do that way. Oops. More like that. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. All right. Let me know if the music's too loud. I can lower it out or whatever. Yeah, so this is okay. So one of the things that I'm looking at doing is I'm looking to not just to expand just beyond doing books. I want to bring my skills to the world, and to that end, I'm looking at streaming as a vehicle to kind of reach out to people and connect, and then also share dungeon design, right? So this is something I started on my last stream. I was like, oh, I'm gonna build a lair around a monster. The entire idea of this is an Orog, which is kind of like an advanced orc from Forgotten Realms, and he's a Orog. An Orog blacksmith, and from there I've just been kind of growing it. So you can see that I've got Orog lair. He's an older, respected dude. He's a smith. He's got some kind of allies, maybe undead or kobolds or goblins. I ended up landing on goblins, and so I'm just kind of going through the process of designing and building this dungeon as I go, to share kind of my thought process in building it and evolving it and making it better. And then the other thing that I'm looking to do kind of down the road is like provide lessons on how to engage with your players more, or as a player, how to engage with the GM more, or with the game more, and just like have better gaming experiences. So I have a lot of creative stuff that I do for my games, um, and I think that there's a lot of value there for folks, and I want to bring that to people and help them, just enjoy. Eventually, of course, some of these I think will likely end up in books or in whatever, and go that route. So it's a very long, rambling answer to your question to say kind of yeah for a new book, but also other stuff. Okay, where was I? This is his bedroom. All right, so he's got a bed and a chest. He needs what do you need? He needs a wardrobe. Wardrobe. And maybe a desk. I like desks. Desks are always good. He works on his blacksmithing designs on his desk. Actually, in asking about a new book, come to think of it, I've got another Ideas for Dragon book coming out shortly. Kat and I are putting the final touches on it over the next few days, weeks, and I'm hoping to have it out soon as well. Um, Oh, that's a really cool idea. I really like that. Simple dice trays and personalized flag. That's pretty sweet. Do you have an open like initiative tracker so everybody knows where it is, or do you keep it kind of separate? Oh wow, that's cool. That's just cool. Make sure let's do this. I'm gonna put the chest on the other side of the room. Oops. Okay. Oh, nice. That's a very cool idea. Do you mind if I steal it? I actually don't use a DM screen these days. Not that much. Uh-oh, the kitten has returned. She wants laps and pets. And I'm drawing kitten. Oh, thanks, man. Oh, okay. I need to get myself a cam and, I need to finish up the office and get a cam set up just so you guys can see my kitten's antics when she desperately needs attention. Because I think she's hilarious and adorable. Yeah, one of the other things I was one of the things that inspired some of this was I was talking with a guy about painting miniatures and how to he was like, how do you paint bone? And I was like, well, and then a little bit later I was 500 words down, and I'm like, you know what? I just explained kind of advanced bone painting for miniatures, and see what it looks like. Oh, that's pretty cool. And I was like, you know, like I could write guides on quick and easy miniature painting, you know, for tabletop quality. Um, that you know anybody can access, anybody can use, and like you know that's not a bad way to go. So I don't know. Um, I think there's a lot of potential for growth there. I think there's a lot of opportunities for me to just be like really enjoy helping people at their games and helping people out. Yeah, yeah, that GW Goblin army, man, that was something like 200 models, 200 goblins. I painted that thing in like a couple of months. Like, it really did not take long to, like, surprisingly did not take long to paint so many freaking goblins. So, like, how to paint, bad guys in 1 hour or so, you know? Like, there's ways to do it. Okay, so I need to forge. Actually, let's do it this way. Oh, I like that. Like this. Oh. Still screwing it up. Look at me go. Yeah, I don't. I haven't touched my GW stuff in a few years. I don't have money for that hobby. Everything's too expensive. It's too much time to keep up with all of the rules updates. My gaming group, none of my gaming group was really into it. So there was no sharing with them. So like, it's all right. I can set it to the side and like let it languish. Yeah, right. Time. It's a beast. But you know, I mean, it was a good times while I had it. I've actually been thinking the last year or so. I'm like, well, maybe I should sell some of those armies and just let them go. But that's hard too, you know. Okay. So there's the heating, forged needs both amples. And actually, should be there. Did they actually finally close that? Holy cow. I mean, pandemic was really rough. I haven't been by there in quite a while. I should, and it's just down the road. I should just like run by there and check it out, see if it's still even open. Just makes me wonder, like, if you wanted to get a game in, like, where would you go? There's a couple other, like, small indie game shops around people could probably go to without a problem, but yeah, see, that just doesn't look right. Let's not do it that way. No, see, no. There we go. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they were still around. I know that games at Berkeley. I have a friend actually who got hired at games at Berkeley, and I wouldn't be surprised if they might have tables. I know that that Oakland game store up by the convention center also has. They used to have tables upstairs. I think they still do. Oh dang! Where'd you move to? I have one of my best friend's parents are in Arkansas and are very conservative and are very happy about living where they live. And I'm not a big fan of the song, so I'm just going to jump straight over it. There we go. Ooh, was it worth took you to Arkansas? Oh yeah, Endgame. That's one in Oakland. Oh well, that's a choice too. Sounds like a pretty good trade. Hope things are working out for you out there. It's this economy. I mean, like, I've chosen to stay in California, for the foreseeable future, and I recognize that, like, there are challenges that I have to face because of it. Um, good and bad and all of that. I have a lot of friends who have been moving to like Oregon, and a friend moved to Kentucky. You moved to Arkansas. There's a lot. There's a lot going on. So it's hard. Oh, that's good. Good luck. Occasionally gotta back up and look at this thing. Yeah, that's not right, is it? Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. There's a certain charm to certain retails, but like retail in general, Robin accused me of having not really accused, pointed out, I guess. I have a lot of financial like trauma around finance and retail and what goes on in our society, our capitalist oriented society. And I was like, you know what, you're right. I do have a lot of trauma around it, a lot of like anger and all of that stuff. But I mean, honestly, anybody trying to exist in this late stage capitalist society is just if they don't have trauma, then they've been extremely lucky, you know, and like it is not pretty, and if people are able to cover their needs and survive, and more power to them, because it is really hard, and I respect that. Like there's a lot of work that people do just to survive, and it's nuts that we have to fight so hard to survive. But listen to me wax on about about economics, because that's always an exciting topic, right? I'll just sit here and draw maps. What do I know? But yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Seriously, I understand not getting too excited, because like there's that I've been there. Like I've had that fear of like, oh, I've got this job and it's no longer retail and it's actually looking positive for the moment. What do I do? Like, when's the other shoe gonna drop? And it is hard to get past that too. So I understand, but have faith in yourself. Like you can do it. I believe in you. And let me know, like if you if things are going well, if things aren't going well, let me know how it's going, and I'll be like, I'll cheer you on. I'll be here for a shoulder to cry on too. Like everybody needs support. Yeah. So actually, that's a really good point. Check your offer letter, and check the laws in your state for whether your state is at will, or if your offer letter has any kind of contract termination clauses and that kind of stuff, and maybe that will help like put your mind at ease a bit, because like it's tough. It's tough to worry about that stuff. Yeah, I think like most states are at will, or unless you sign a contract. And signing an offer letter is not exactly a contract, but it is an agreement. So double check what the offer letter has to say. Double check your termination clauses, and then just like do your best. Be open with your management. And just find out what you need to do to make sure that you do what's needed, and just keep at it. Yeah, no, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. So it sounds like your workplace is at will. which is fine too. You know, like that happens, and that'll work out. So yeah. But you know, if you know your stuff and you are willing to learn and pick up more stuff, and then just keep on top of it and keep current, you should do all right. Okay, so here's the blacksmith area. Um, oh, he needs a winch. That's right. He's got this winch. That's not right. I think he will have installed. He's pretty advanced, pretty wise dude, so he would have picked the best place to install the winch. He would have reinforced it with a plate. And this blacksmith has this fancy winch thing. Okay. So here he's got this winch that he can pull water up out of the underground river if he needs to, and he can also pick up, you know, goblins or whoever fell into the river without having to risk himself with the critters that are in the underground river. So that's handy. Well, shit, man, you're doing better than me. I mean, let's be honest. That's good. That's really good. Is she working? Okay, so he's got this. He's got this winch. Probably has some supplies over here, like logs, maybe a couple of buckets. Oops, buckets should be round. Or pails, anyway. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it's really wild the vast culture difference between retail and working an office job. Okay, let's see here. There should be little bits of scattered debris and junk. In this area, this is where the nice tiles end and the mine begins. Now he's got this. Our Orog has this nice coal seam that he's mining. Got a little help with. And that's what he uses to feed his forge and furnace and all that stuff. Listen to my super technical talk. Alright, so here's his storehouse. And in his storehouse he has barrels. Nope, not like that. More like that. copy and paste. Paste. Nope. I like that. Paste. Nope. Okay, fine. We'll do it this way. Copy. There we go. Paste. There we go. How do I decide on an appropriate amount of debris and placement? All right, well, I think about, that's actually a fantastic question. Okay, so let's take here. This is a really good example. And I think about a couple of things first. First, I think about, like, playability and what's going on in the region. So in this region, I'm going to start a new layer so I don't draw on anything that I don't want to mess up. And I'm going to change the color so it's easier to know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to change the song again because it's just too distracting. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so talking about this area, I know that the adventurers are going to be coming in this direction, right? And I want them to enjoy, like, having this experience where they've got all of this terrain they can hide behind, because over here I've got a bunch of goblins with bows, and they're watching this whole thing. And I think, all right, well, I'll have a couple of goblin scouts so it'll be dark, and you've got these goblin scouts. They need stuff to hide behind, and you need places for the adventurers to advance, okay? So I think I need enough to convince, like, give convincing cover to characters, and to know that where they can travel and what might be difficult for them to move through, right? I don't want too much, but I also want enough to convince them that it's somewhat realistic or whatever. Placement has to do with thinking about where would it be naturally, and then also where would it be moved to by unnatural forces. So, like, if this is a major path that goes through here, then, like, there's going to be a clear path of, like, of area that isn't cluttered, because nobody likes walking around a bunch of stuff, right? So if you look at it, you've got this space for people to move freely through this area. It doubles as a kill zone because you've got these goblins up here with bows, like I said, right? And they can shoot straight down this area, cover this whole zone, right, all the way up to here. And then as the players advance, they've got this whole death area that they would have to deal with if they're dealing with goblins, right? So part of it is the strategy, part of it is tactics, part of it is just, like, what looks good. Because if I also turn off the comments and colors, right, you can start seeing that there's just stuff, right? There's space for just enough for the eye to rest on. Now, one of the things I haven't done is, and I will be doing, is hatching. And hatching is going to look a lot like this. Oops, not like that. It's going to look a lot like this. One of the things that's going to do is it's going to make it easier on the eyes for you to understand where the positive and the negative space of the map is. Okay, so the map is going to have that all the way around. Now, when it comes to more populated stuff, like if you ignored, or not ignored, I'm gonna pretend to destroy all of this work that I've done. Oops. If I undid all of this, right, you've got this whole empty room that is just empty and boring, but it needs something, right? So I add in tiles to kind of give texture to the room. I add in, this is more fortification. Up here, there's more fortification up here for whatever's down here. This rock debris, this, like, it's just pretty. This water, it's just pretty, but it gives something interesting to look at. And dresses the dungeons. This is a bit of a fire and skeleton bones that have been put in there. So, so it's a lot of like, where do I expect the players to move? Where do I expect them to take cover? Where are the bad guys or the monsters going to interact? Like, what are their terrain and homes going to look like? What just looks interesting? Because this room here, like, this is my favorite room so far. I've got this burnt skeleton. I've got a cool pool of liquid of something. I've got another skeleton that died in a rock fall. I've got this defensive barrier. Like, it's just interesting. So, to me, that's how I determine what goes into, like, for debris and scatter. You know, when it comes to just like debris and scatter, more scatter, I was thinking, so this is going to be a storeroom down here, right? And if you've got the blacksmith, he's going to travel from this area to where he needs stuff to over here, and if he's got coal coming in from over here, then there's going to be bits of debris all through this. And I can make little trails of debris to, like, here where he drops coal into his forge, or maybe up here to where he does things, you know. So you can also use it to tell a little bit of a story, you know. So in a perfect world, players would see the map and go, "Oh wow, what is this over here?" You know, or your as a GM, your description actually describes what. Over here, over on the north end of the room, there's a winch that dips down into the water with a couple of barrels and a few stacks of wood or boxes or whatever. So, you know, yeah, that's a lot of talking. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. In fact, I'm fleshing out the NPCs through the environment. Yeah, actually, so that's kind of exactly what I'm doing. I'm, and that's kind of, so, like, there's a lot of GMs, a lot of people out there who they just make maps, right? Hey, look at this cool map that I've made. Yeah, it's a cool map and all, but like one of the things that I've found is I can't just make a map. As I'm making a map, I'm telling myself a story in my head. So, like, why would I? Oops, no, I need that one. Why wouldn't I include that in the design and the work, right? Why do I want to just make an empty dungeon that's just a bunch of rooms, and now you have to like fill in all of the blanks? That's a lot of work, right? What if instead I said, you know, here's an Orog blacksmith who's making weapons because that's what he likes to do, and there's a goblin tribe that hangs out with him to help protect him, but one of the reasons they hang out with him is because they get cool weapons from him, right? And then, like, all of the other hazards that are around. So, yeah, it helps me flesh out the NPC, it helps me flesh out the story, it makes the map better, I think. And then when I'm done, like, I can present this story and I can make it available, and then, like, my audience, my players, or, you know, not players, but, like, the audience, like, a GM can come along and take this and my notes and be like, okay, well, the blacksmith is a level X blacksmith, and there's like 12 goblins, and they're all this strong, and down over here there's like Over here, there's like a water weird in this pool, and it likes drowning people, like whatever. So, like, you can make your own stats. Like, for this, I'm like, so this is the storeroom for the blacksmith, and I'm thinking, like, if I was a blacksmith, I wouldn't. Yeah, no, I'm like, yeah. So like, that's a big thing, So like for me, like I'm constantly making these stories, and I'm constantly making them for myself in my head. I'm all of that stuff, right? But like, I don't know what your game might need. I don't know what level you're gaming at, right? Or your gaming group is at, right? So why do I want to attach a bunch of stats to it that limits what you're doing? Why don't I give you a story, a place, and then kind of like, these are the things that you need to fill in the blanks, and then you can fill in the blanks of the critters that inhabit it, and then you can help tune it to your own story, right? So it's not as written in stone to do a whole pre-made adventure, but it also gives you the chance to kind of develop the story in your own and tune it to your own needs. So like, that helps. So when I'm doing these dungeon dressing, I'm thinking, all right, well, like, if I was this blacksmith, right? I've got this room up here that this is all my living space, and then over here this is my working space, right? I've got this place over here, which is my coal mine, right? But do I want to go down into the coal mine down over here to get my coal every time I'm running low? And that's a lot of work. I'm going to have a bin of cleaned and refined coal, maybe in my storeroom, so that I can just easily grab the day's worth of coal, and then I can work on filling this bin later if I need to, or I can maybe come over here and have a second bin full of coal. For the forge when I'm really in the middle of working on whatever, right? So I don't have to stress about like walking all the way over to the mine to find some coal that's appropriate. I can make sure that it's some of the best parts are in my storeroom, and then like when I'm ready to go work on the forge, I've got a bunch that's handy right there, right? But I also need, well, as a artist, there's, I want to make it interesting, right? So there's going to be bits and pieces of just debris lying around, um, down here in the storeroom, there's also going to be like barrels of stuff, like water or pickled, I don't know, pickled roots, dried meat. Well, it's about 8 o'clock, folks. So I actually actually need to get going. I need to make dinner. Done some dressing. Thanks, thanks for talking. Really appreciate just having somebody to talk to, somebody to hang out with. I'm not sure when I'll be streaming next. I'm still kind of getting back into the swing of things, and seeing if I can pick a semi-regular schedule. I think my next day will probably be maybe next Monday if I don't have another one earlier. I'll post it to my Facebook, and around to see if I can just figure out when my stream is. I hope you had a good time. Thanks for coming in. I hope you're doing well, and good luck with the new job. So I'm very happy to hear you're doing okay. So take care, everybody, and have a great evening.